Good morning, students. Let's start our today's English session. Today, we are going to start the first poem of your book, that is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Before we start about read the poem, let's know about the poet Robert Frost. Then we will get know some idea on the introduction of the poem. Then we will learn the poem stanza by stanza. Okay. In the poem The Road Not Taken, the poet describe about the choices of our life. In the poet says that he has faced with two options in his life, and these two options he symbolizes with two ways, two roads, and you can relate those two paths as your two options of your career. When you are going to choose your career, in which way you are going to lead your life professionally and personally, on that time you have to choose any one. You cannot choose two of the path at a time. You can only choose any one. So here poet, with the symbolizing the two roads, explains how he choose a way or in his life, and also gives a right direction to the students, to the pursuing pursuing career, those who are ready to take. The poet was trying to say which way will lead his life. Let's start about the poet. Robert Lee Frost, his full name, was an American poet. His work was initially published in England before it was published in America. Being an American man, but his work was not published first in America, but it was published and get fame from England first. One of the most popular and respected American poet of the 20th century. In the 20th century, he became one of the most respected and popular American poet. Frost received 4 Pulitzer Prize for poetry. Pulitzer Prize is one type of prize that gives to the writers, that was given to the writers. He was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetical works. On July 22, 1961, Frost was named the Poet Laureate of Vermont. Vermont is a name of a place, and he was given the name as Laureate of Vermont. Okay, let's come to the introduction of the poem. In this poem, the poet talks about a choice he has to make between two roads. As I told you, that he has faced on a situation where he has to choose any one path. He cannot take two at a time. On that time, what he has to do, he got confused. The road is compared to the different career options we face in our life. When we relate to this situation to our life, the poet situation to our life, we can relate that the career options which we are going to face in our future, on that point of time, which one we have to choose. And we also cannot choose both at a time. For example, I can say that I want to be a doctor and want to be an engineer. That could not be possible, both of the things at a time. I have to choose any one, and I have to realize as which one going to be best for me in my heart, and just work on the path. So here the poet wanted to present that in the student's mind by representing the two road. The poet wants to convey an important message to us. Through this poem, the poet Robert Frost was trying to give us a message, that is, our future depends on our present. What we are going to do in our future, that totally depends on our work on present. The career option we choose today will determine what we become tomorrow. The future, the future determination, the future situation will be totally depend on our decision which we make in our present day. If we choose for career, for example, on career, if I choose as a lawyer, I could not be a doctor after 5 years. If I choose a path to be a lawyer, then I have to work on that. I cannot divert myself towards the doctorship again. We must be careful as we do not get privilege to go back on the option once left. Once I choose a option, then for the professional life, then I cannot come back again and choose my options for another, as time never waits for anyone. It goes on and we have to move with the flow of the time. Let's start our poem. This is the introduction. I think you all have get some idea. Let's start our poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Okay. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Here I have written the meanings. You can see here, diverged means go separate way. The poet was going on his legs. He was walking on the road, and on a situation he was standing on a diverged road, on a separate road where he has two ways to go. You can see here the picture that on the middle of the path he was standing there and was confused that where he had to go. In a yellow wood. Yellow wood refers to the forest full of yellow color leaves in the autumn. So in the autumn season, with the yellow color leaves trees, he had a confusion that which one has to choose, which option, which road he has to choose. And sorry, I could not travel both. And it is in his mind that he cannot choose both the way at a time. Only he could travel only one way. He could not travel the left one and the right one at a time. And be one traveller, long I stood, and be one traveller. It refers that on that whole area he was the only one. There was no any other person whom he can ask that which road is the best one and which road will lead to him to his destination. The destination that he chose, he did not know which of this road will lead him to his destination. So being an one person in that forest, he was totally confused. Long I stood, for a long time he stood there and started to think that which road should be a best one for him. I looked down one as far as I could, and with this he was trying to look down as far I could. He at a time sit down and try to see through the road that if he could find out any solution that which road he can go to where it bent in undergrowth. But when he was trying to see forward at a curve, at a bend, the road goes curved and into the dense growth of forest, and he could not see where is the destination and which road will get him the destination. So here you can relate it to your future life, that we have two options in our life, but before choosing the one, for example, I have taken the options that I want to be a teacher. But being a teacher, if I choose to be a doctor, the professionals of doctor, I could not be a teacher. So as I take teachership as my profession, so I have to go on that path to reach that destination to being a teacher. So I have to move my ways on the perfect way. So in our life it was very important to choose the right path at the right time. We always try to see our future, but it could be impossible for us to see our future and could realize that what is going to be in our life and which situation lead to which solution. Next, come to second stanza. Then took the other just as fair. In that first stanza, the poet represents that he was totally confused that which one should he take. Should he choose? He tried to show by sitting there, try to see underneath, try to look forward to the road, but he could not get any solution. Then what he did?